Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Heart Flow, the podcast where I, Shayla, your host, talks about um, really anything that crosses my mind, things along my healing journey, topics that are brought to me by friends or family. Um, yeah, so today, today I don't have like a true topic. Um, I have some things that I can discuss, and I will, I will discuss them. I'm gonna talk about them. Um, Today though is a struggle for me, and I'm gonna just start with some honesty and a bit of transparency here. Um, Today is a struggle for me to record. One, because I don't have like a concrete, really researched out, looked at in depth topic. And two, this week has been a bit on the emotional side for me. Um, I realized my feelings and emotions around the situation, and I am in the process of like not really identifying them because I know what they are, right? But like releasing them and like accepting the reality of the situation. I'm not gonna say what it is, but it has been an emotional couple of days, really. I'm not gonna say emotion. I don't know if I should really label it as emotional because emotions have been involved. I'll say that. Emotions have been involved. They haven't been like too high or anything, but they have been there, and I have been allowing myself to feel whatever it is that I feel in the moment to the best of my ability. And just recognizing what's going on with myself, accepting that, accepting what reality is, and doing my best to just move on. It's gonna take some time to like really, I think, fully move on, possibly, because it is a loss in a sense. So, um, just allow myself to feel, allow myself to have emotions, um, and also reminding myself what the reality is of the situation, and accepting that and moving forward, right? So I have been like trying to figure out what my topic was going to be for this week. And it's been a bit challenging because I have been emotionally distracted, and also physically distracted. I have been so nauseous lately, like not even lately, for the past month. I just came from urgent care because my PCP is like booked until one of my appointments. Um, but the doctor was like, "What made you come in now?" Because it's been a month. Because it's been a month. He was like, "What made you come in now? Like, is your symptoms getting worse, or you just tired of it?" I was like, "I am tired of the nausea. The nausea is when I wake up. Usually it's except for today, surprisingly, when I wake up, if I eat, if I don't eat, doesn't matter what I eat, what I don't eat, the nausea is there." And it's been annoying, very, very annoying and very frustrating. Like nausea on top of my shoulder pain, the tingling, the numbness. I was like, something has to give. And I'm glad I went in today because he prescribed me some stuff right there to take, some nausea pills, some other stuff, to help me. No, I am not pregnant. Okay. That is not it. Um, I have not done anything in almost a year. So there's that. Pregnancy is off the table. But he gave me some stuff to take until my appointment with my PCP, so we can really hopefully hone in on some things. Possibly, if the things that he give me aren't working, I can discuss them with her. hopefully, and we can really get to the bottom of things. So yeah, there's been a mixture of things going on. My physical body has been hurting. I aggravated my shoulder. I don't know if I told y'all that. I aggravated my shoulder. I believe it was maybe in December. Saw my doctor in January. All of these things happened and whatnot. I'm finally seeing somebody for my injury. It's been a couple of weeks now, but it's still there. I haven't been working out since I aggravated my shoulder. I was kind of doing some cardio, but I stopped altogether. But today I got back on the horse and did some lower body workouts. And I actually jump rope today. One of them triggered my shoulder. I don't know which one, but I'm gonna have to just press through and let the doc know, because I need to be doing something and I don't want to be doing nothing, on top of changing some things in my diet. So, because I really do want to lose. I don't know if I told y'all I want to lose 30 pounds in a year, or 30 pounds this year, but I do. That is my goal, to lose 30 pounds this year. I think it is a doable goal. I think I also doubt myself in that as well, because I feel like I've been on this journey for so long and weight loss hasn't necessarily been seen or evident so far. Body recomp, yes, right? Weight loss though, no. So, and that's hard to do, weight loss while you're weightlifting or while you're including weights, which is body recomp, is difficult. It's difficult to see the numbers move on the scale when you are lifting weights and the body recomp is the focus. It's hard to see the scale change, and that's frustrating. It became frustrating to me because I want to see the numbers change, as much as my body change. So I have to work on my discipline, and my discipline is not great when it comes to this. It really is not, because my eating habits are horrible, and I know that. I'm aware of that because of some conditioning that I did, in middle school when it comes to eating and my relationship to eating and food. Eating was the only thing that I could control in middle school. There was a lot of stuff going on at home that I was not in control of. And so eating was something that I could control, especially while I was away from the house, right? So that's what I did. I controlled what I ate, and it was really just only snacks. I would not eat meals anywhere, like lunch, school lunch. I would not eat school lunch for real. I would not eat breakfast there. I would only eat cream cheese packets. It was so weird. I would only eat cream cheese packets. Sometimes I would eat the Pizza Hut pizza that we had for a short time until it got taken away. And then when it got taken away, I didn't eat anything. I think there was some other stuff behind that too, but I didn't eat anything for real. And that made me feel like I was in control of something and I had a power over a situation. So it made me feel good about myself. And it wasn't even about no weight thing or anything like that. I just wanted control over something, and the control I could do was over food. But that conditioned me to not have a great relationship with food. And I see that, and I'm trying to overcome that. It is just very difficult to do with so many different situations and circumstances. It is very challenging to overcome. Eating is technically an eating disorder, and eating disorders can take 7 to 10 years to recover from once you are in the process of recovery. And I have been picking at this thing for a while. I've been trying to find the roots and whatever and the causes and all of that. of why my eating habits and my relationship to food is so horrible. I've been digging at it for a while. And it's been a couple of years. It ain't been 7 years. So I'm still in the process of recovering from how I conditioned myself to look at food and view food. So it's just challenging. It's challenging. Okay. But I am working on it. I do look for things that are like high in protein. I do try to choose protein over anything else. Mainly because in body recon, when you're lifting so much weight, or just, weight is the focus, you need protein to fuel your muscles. So protein has been the number one thing that I look for when I am eating things that are high in protein period, but mainly things that are high in protein, so I can fuel my muscles, right? With me being down and not really exercising like that, it's been more challenging to just ease off of that, and stay in a calorie deficit. Was challenging for sure though. I downloaded an app or whatever to calculate, because I was going to really track my food or whatever and get serious about the things. I was going to get serious about the stuff. So I downloaded an app to track, how much I was eating, and with me lifting as frequently, I think it was 3 times a week that I put in there, and I was lifting weights, working out 3 times a week, right? That's moderate exercise. My calorie intake was supposed to be so much more than what I was consuming, and it was shocking for me to see that, because I knew that I was eating way below. My necessary calorie intake, just because of because of what I just said, how I eat. I am a snacker more than a meal eater. So it's just easier for me to I'll grab a protein bar, or I'll grab some pretzels, or I'll make cereal, or I'll drink. If there's a protein, if there's a smoothie already made, I'll grab a smoothie. But an actual meal, I will not eat that. And also sometimes when I think about preparing a meal, I'm I don't want to do that. That's so much to do, the task of it all. I don't want to. Fixing just simple, a small thing of fixing myself an actual plate, I'd be I don't want to do this. Y'all, I know I need counseling. I know I need help. And that is the goal for this year as well. But yeah, but that's something that I realized not too long ago, the force and the chore it feels like for me to make an actual meal for myself. I realized that just recently. So that's new for me, actually. The realization of that is new for me. But all of that I just won't do for myself. Of course I'll do for my kid, because he needs to eat. He a kid. He can't fend for himself. I need to make him some stuff. So I'll make him some stuff. I just sometimes won't make me something along with that. I don't know what that is, but I'll make him something for sure, so so he can eat, and then just won't even think nothing of myself. And it could be exhaustion, being tired and just overstimulated, wanting to not do nothing. There's so many factors, and I'm aware of that. But I knew I was eating way, probably not way underneath, but underneath my calorie intake, just regular daily calorie intake, which puts my body in starvation mode already. So of course losing weight would be very difficult. I was at best maintaining where I was, which is not, it's okay to maintain, but that's not what I want, right? So when I saw those numbers, I was dang, I can actually eat more. I can eat more food. That was a good, yay for me. I can eat more food than I have been. But then it was also dang, I need to eat more food. How am I going to eat? Well, not how am I going to eat more food? What food am I going to eat? How can I add more protein into this? Because then it's like the protein intake that I need to have for myself is high as hell, y'all. And I'm just like, I don't understand how people, how do you get this much protein? Like, this is wild. It's crazy to me because I mean, I'm not a small girl. Okay. So the calorie intake is a lot. And I think that will also be my stumbling block, because I would be like, oh my gosh, I have to eat so much food, and that would take me over. Instead of like just focusing on the things that I can do to implement more protein, I would be like, oh my gosh, this is so much protein I need to consume. I don't know how I'm gonna do this in a day. I just won't eat, like, which a lot of us do in different areas of our lives. That's anxiety. So yeah, but when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I can eat more food. And then also like, what the heck am I going to eat, and how am I going to implement, or how am I going to get all this food intake, and what the heck is all the protein, how am I going to get all this protein in? Protein powder is not cheap. So yeah, it's like all the things, right? But when I saw that, I was like, go me, I can eat more food. That's a good thing. And then like my aggravated injury happened. I slowed down on my workouts, and then that made me feel like I couldn't eat as much. So now I need to monitor what I'm actually eating and consuming. And it was just like, oh my gosh, overwhelming for me. To the point of where I'll just be like, I'm gonna just eat how I've been eating or whatever, because that's what I know. That's what I know. So that's just what I'm gonna do. But I've been doing my best to be mindful of what I'm consuming, and how much not how much I'm consuming, but me being able to consume the food or whatever, or me consuming food. So during this time of my aggravated injury, I was going to like just do salads, right? I was going to do salads so I can drop the weight, and then, do a bunch of cardio. I like discipline, which is wild because I did Insanity in the time and the dedicated that amount of time to do Insanity with my bad knees, y'all. But this was years ago also. But I completed Insanity, did that. I completed Nike. The Nike Run app used to have programs in there for free. They don't anymore. But they used to have programs in there for free that you can do, like 4-week, 6-week, 8-week programs. I used to complete those. I had different meals and stuff that I would eat. I would eat regularly. Excuse me. I would eat regularly too. But all of this is what I am referring to really is back in 2015, before I had all the cares of the world that I do now. I did not have a child back then. So a lot of the things that I am experiencing now, I did not experience then. So I understand that the environment and situations have changed drastically. I have experienced more life now, and more things are happening now in my life than back then. But there was some discipline in me then. I just got to get back to it now. And I don't know what will keep me really going. And even when I really hit my fitness stuff for real, November of 2023, I was on a roll up until like, I think maybe it was in June when I started to like be less consistent, because we had went out of town. We had went out of town. I like fell off after, around that time we were gone. Was that 2023? Y'all, I think it was 2023. Anyway, but I was doing well for a while, hitting the gym or whatever, and being consistent in that way. I mean, hitting the gym though isn't hard for me to do. Like, that's actually something that lifting weights is something that I look forward to doing. I actually enjoy that part. I may like not want to do it that day, but when I get in there, I actually enjoy it. I enjoy lifting weights or whatever. My stumbling block is cardio and the nutrition part, the eating part. Those two parts are like the places where I struggle and lack discipline in. And I'm sure there's a lot of things behind, not I'm sure, I know there's a lot of things behind the eating part, like I just said previously. Like, there's a lot of things behind the eating part, and then on top of that, like stresses of life, being overstimulated or overwhelmed, a lot of different things. I'm sure if there were different things off of my plate, or if I was able to process things differently or better, it wouldn't be so much of a struggle for me. So I'm working on it. I'm working on the things behind the things, because a lot of times there's a goal, right? But there's things behind the goal that we need to there's steps behind it that we need to hit so we can accomplish the goal. And I'm working on the behind the things part to the best of my ability. Yeah, but today I started my workouts again today with a lower body. I did some lower body weighted workouts. I don't really know the term stuff, like I guess weight training, strength training, the lower body. I did that this morning. Excuse me. I did that this morning, and what did I eat today? What did I eat today? I had a beef jerky and some cheese. But that's only because I was ripping and running. Okay, I had errands this morning, like the doctor's office. I had an appointment this morning. I dropped my son off to school. Also, I try not to eat until like 10, 11. I ain't been hitting 11 lately, but 10 anyway, right? So I had a doctor's appointment. That got fumbled and messed up or whatever. And then so I was trying to find another place where I could go to be seen to get a hold of this nausea, because I'm tired of it. And so I had to like park and figure it out. Then I ran into HEB because I told my students that if they beat me in playing ball, shooting hoops or whatever on this hoop I got them, that I would get them some chips. They both beat me, so I had to go into HEB and get some chips for one of the kids. So I went into HEB and I grabbed like a little beef jerky stick, and I also grabbed me a Snickers just because I know my palate. I know my palate, and I know the nausea was gonna kick in with that beef jerky and the cheese, so I wanted something chocolatey afterwards. Because it's been going on for a month, y'all. Crazy. Yeah. That's why I hadn't really eaten anything, but it wasn't exactly 10. It was very close to 10 where I ate the beef jerky and the cheese or whatever. And so that's been my little protein for the moment. I ate that for the day. But I'm gonna make a smoothie, and I've started to include smoothies, at least 2 smoothies a day, which is frozen fruit, some type of leafy green, ginger, turmeric, and some almond milk. I was gonna start getting coconut water, but I don't like the prices of it, so I changed my mind. And the pack that I was going to get was sold out by the time I ordered. I want to try to do coconut water more so than almond milk, just because there's more benefits in the coconut water versus the almond milk. I do want to make that change, but for the most part, I just do almond milk, some frozen fruits, a mixed fruit blend with some type of leafy green, ginger root, turmeric, which I started doing like last week, adding those two in there, with the almond milk and some water and some protein powder, 2 scoops of protein powder or whatever. And I get like 9 cups from that, and I split that up for the week. And I drink about 2 mason jars a day of those. So I've been adding those in there, which I think is good because it's fruit. I mean, it's leafy greens and fruits. Like, that's good. Good for the body, right? And I start my day with those. So, I'll start my day with one, and then I have another one like maybe some hours later, like around lunch or whatever. I'll have the second one. And then probably after I pick up my son, or when I go pick up my son, then I'll actually eat the dinner or whatever, is what I've been doing lately. But with me starting to lift weights again, and work out again, I'm gonna have to find some more protein to add into that. And it'll probably be maybe a protein shake. A protein shake's one of my like protein powders that I make. A protein shake or whatever, and maybe a protein bar. Quest protein bars are good, and they're high in protein. Shout them out. You can get like 20 grams, 18 to 20 grams of protein in one bar. Bomb, and the calories match the grams of protein, that's how you know if it's high in protein or not. If it matches the calories or not. So the first 2 numbers of the calories. So just finding more protein to add up in there, to really dump in there or whatever, is what I'm gonna have to do, because I'm starting to lift weights again. And I don't want to not lift weights, y'all. Like, because I know me, and it's frustrating because if I'm not able to lift weights, I don't want to do nothing. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel. If I'm not going to be able to lift weights, I don't want to work out, because lifting weights is what I want to do. And I know lifting weights, body recomp is a thing, and lifting weights can shape your body differently. So I want to be able to lift weight. Even if it's just me hitting lower body for right now, because my shoulder is messed up. Shoulder and neck, honestly, but since my shoulder is messed up, if I'm just hitting lower body, then I'm just hitting lower body. If I can get like some arms in, I'm gonna get some arms in. If I can do, if I can tolerate like the lateral raises, I'll do that, but I'll have to drop my weight on the lateral raises and only do like 5 pounds instead of the 10 that I have. But we'll see, bro, because I want to do that. And jumping rope, I'll probably do jump rope, because I don't like running. And I'm not going to say I don't like running. I don't like running on the treadmill. I don't like that. It is boring to me. It is such a struggle for me to run on the treadmill, to walk on the treadmill, because it's like I'm on a hamster wheel. I'm not going nowhere. I don't like it. Since it's like baby summer outside here, crazy. It's wintertime still. But yet it's baby summer. I can't stand it. But I can probably hit the track though if I have time, and I've been having time. I've been having time lately, so I can hit the trail. One of the trails is like 3 miles around or whatever. Just one loop is 3 miles. And I can more than likely do that some days or whatever, and I'll actually enjoy that because that's outside. And I think I don't like doing the treadmill because I'm so used to walking outside. Growing up, we walked everywhere. We walked everywhere. Going to my friend's house, we walked. She lived down the street. Best friend lived down the street, down the hill. Walked to her house. She walked to my house. We walked to the store. We walked up the street. We walked everywhere. Okay, even in our adult life, if I was over there, if we was like hanging out or whatever, and I was at her house, she'd be like, you want to take a walk real quick?" And we would walk around her neighborhood just talking or whatever. So being outside is what I'm used to, and it was the Pacific Northwest, so being outside was just like whatever. So I don't like being on the treadmill. I don't like it at all. So I will work on going to the trail. It's a nice trail. It's a cool trail. It's a populated trail at that. And you can't get lost on the trail either. So I'll do my best to keep that in mind when I'm thinking about cardio. But I do want to keep or continue to lift weights and do that more frequently and add that in. And I'm gonna have to just tell my chiropractor, like, hey, this is just what we're gonna have to do. Okay? Because I can't take it out. I can't continue to take it out and not do it. We just gonna have to work around it. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things I'm working on. I'm working on those things and trying to do my best and be better in those areas. Especially my eating. I'm trying to be way more mindful of it. Because I will grab a bag of chips and just eat those chips. You hear me? I will grab some pretzels and just eat those pretzels. And that will be that. I'll drink some water. And I'll drink some water. And just whatever. I have conditioned myself to not like drink a bunch of juice or whatever. Drink a bunch of juice or even tea, even though I am addicted to tea, y'all. Sweet tea. Moving to Houston, sweet tea is my thing. I don't drink nothing else until I got this nausea and stuff happened. And then I started to venture into Sprite to help me a bit. Sprite and 7-Up lately. But usually it's tea, sweet tea, and that's it. That's it. I got my son hooked on sweet tea as well. Especially while I was pregnant. Sweet tea was... They was like, careful with the caffeine. Okay, do half and half. Because I'm going to have some sweet tea. All right? That's what I am going to do. Is have some sweet tea. But I am usually good. If I'm not stopping at Whataburger... Yeah, I pray my strength in the Lord. If I'm not stopping at Whataburger, then I don't usually have it. Even though we'll have some sweet tea here and probably some Minute Maid of some kind here for my son to have some juice options or whatever, or some apple juice. That's not my first go-to. I will literally drink water and just grab some water and be content with that. And be okay with that. So me dropping that part isn't hard. Isn't hard for me. Sweets is hard for me though. Not since I've been really nauseous, really like that, but sweets is a thing for me, and that is hard for me to let go. Like I told you, I grabbed a Snickers today. I did. It's sweets is it's a thing for me, and it's hard for me to let it go. I don't understand how people don't eat sweets like that. I really do not. It calls me every day. I don't answer every day, but it definitely calls me every day. So I'm working on my discipline. I'm working on my discipline when it comes to my eating and that part of my health and fitness lifestyle. Because I do want to lose the 30 pounds. I believe it is possible, even though I do doubt myself. I believe it is possible at the same time. I just need to do the things to do that which is tricky when also doing body recomp, to see the number on the scale go down. But I'm gonna do my best. And I'm gonna do the things I know are helpful, like including the smoothies are helpful. Upping my protein is helpful. Finding the things that are high in protein is helpful. Eating, period, meals is helpful. I know. So I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best to be mindful of the things and really take care of the body that the Lord gave me. Amen. I just sticking to it is the thing. Sticking to it is the thing. Yeah. So, but that's really that's I don't even know how I got on really talking about that, but that is my journey with my own health and fitness lifestyle, and finding the discipline to stick with the things that are helpful for me, or finding things that are helpful for me that I can continuously implement, right, and stick to them. And I don't know, that will be helpful for me. You know what I'm saying? And the discipline to continue to do those things. I do believe there's a lot of things behind it that I'm not really mentioning or saying right now. Just stressors of life that can just cause you to be overwhelmed or overstimulated to the point I'll say me, can cause me to be overwhelmed or overstimulated in a way to where, because I'm already conditioned to look at food a certain way, it's easy for me to push food off. It's easy for me to not eat right, to fall into those habits and patterns. When I do get overwhelmed or overstimulated or just stressed, it's easy for me to fall into those habits, because I have not yet found healthier ways to combat that. So it's easier for me to fall into those things with the stressors of life. But even with that though, I have, like, over the end of last week and over the weekend, the Lord really revealed himself to me in a way that is helpful. And it keeps coming to mind every time I say stressors are being overwhelmed. One of my best friends was talking to me about, like, really literally letting go and letting God, like, handle things, right? Because she was like, she's in a season of her life where God got it. And when she say God got it, she literally lets it go and it doesn't weigh on her anymore, right? And before we had this conversation, I was talking to my sister, and even before I was talking to my sister, but in the midst of this time frame, I was realizing, like, oh, well, maybe I'm not, because I would say often, like, I'm just giving that over to the Lord. And I was like, well, maybe I'm not really giving that over to the Lord because it still takes me over. If it's still taking me over in some type of capacity, then I really did not give that over to the Lord. And then I just started trying to sit with why, what part of that, and I realized, like, it's also a trusting God is a thing for me, because my trust in people is a thing. My trust in, like, authority, my trust in parents, my trust there is a thing for me. It was a thing for me. And putting God in the same position as those that were supposed to take care of me and all of that, putting him in that same category was making me hesitant in trusting him. Having faith in God also requires you to trust him. So I had to sit with, okay, well, why is that difficult for me? Why is relinquishing control difficult for me? Why is that hard for me? Why is trusting God difficult for me, right? So I had to look at that. And what came up for me was the fact that growing up, when I would ask for things, and they could be big or small acts or things, it was always a huff and puff. It was always a complaint. It was always a like aggravation. Like I was such a burden for asking for things or whatever. So I eventually stopped. And I relied on no one but me, right? To the best of my ability. I stopped asking for things. Because I know I'll get hit with a no. I get hit with a all the things. I don't want to hear that on something that is a necessity, one, or even if it's not a necessity, like it's small things. And granted, my mom could very well have been dealing with her own struggles, and I know she was dealing with her own struggles, especially financially. Like I get that. At the same time, for me feeling like a burden in that situation, I no longer wanted to ask, right? I know what's going on now as an adult. I see that. And so there is an understanding, right? As a child, I don't know those things. And even if I did know those things, that's not my weight to bear. Like I'm a kid. It's not my responsibility to figure out the financial things of this world. But so I felt like a burden, like I couldn't ask. If I did ask, it was an issue. And then when it came to my dad, I didn't ask my dad for nothing. That just wasn't a thing for real. Not that I don't know. I don't know if he would give it. If he did give it, I don't know. But when he would give things, if he then was angry with me or got upset with me, he would ask for it back. Or he would give and still ask for it back if he wasn't upset. If he needed some money later, he will ask for that money back later. And that's like, why give me something if you're going to take it back from me? So that is also the mind frame and the mindset I had when it came to God. Like, not intentionally, but this is what I saw. Like these are the people that are supposed to take care of me on this earth. So God, you're also supposed to be taking care of me. This is how I see you. Or he automatically got lumped into that category. And I had to sit with that and really process that. And the Holy Spirit helped me because he deals with me in imagery, which I love. He showed me like the little Shayla that would deal with all of those things, being embraced by God and sitting in his lap and being hugged by him, with the emphasis on stability and affection and love, and knowing that God is not one that gives and takes away. He doesn't give you something and then takes it back from you, right? And if what I am asking for in that moment is not something that is going to be granted for me, it's not because he doesn't want to give it, but because it's not the time, right? It's not the time for me to have it. Or he has something different for me, something better for me, right? The Bible literally says to ask, seek, or knock, and he will give those things. And to come to him boldly, right? It also says to ask according to his will, that you may get. But there's nowhere in the Bible where it talks about or where God is refusing to give his children something. He provides. He is a provider. Just like the beginning of this journey of me losing my job and starting my career, the story of Abraham and Isaac, and how Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac, yet as they walked up the mountain getting ready to sacrifice, like literally Abraham was right there about to sacrifice his son, the Lord provided a ram. And that's where the scripture of the Lord will provide, or God will provide, that's where it comes from. So he will provide in the nick of time or whatever for the things that we need. It's just trusting him and believing that he has our best interests at heart, right? What is that scripture in Jeremiah? I think it's Jeremiah 29:11, if I'm not mistaken. But he knows the plans that he has for us, right? Plans to prosper us. So he doesn't want us to fail. He wants us to succeed, right? And that is who God is. So the Holy Spirit was working on me with that. And he has been working on me with that. So I know that I can give my cares over to him fully and that he will handle it. I don't have to be looking over my shoulder trying to figure out what the Lord's going to do. He got it. Just like I say, he got my spouse in whoever that is, right? I believe God is handling that. He knows the desires of my heart. He knows what I need. He knows all the things concerning my spouse, and I gave that over to him. I ain't stressing about it, worrying about it, like for real. That should also be applied in all areas of my life, even when it comes to my son, which I feel like is even more of a struggle. But even when it comes to my son, my finances, my career, all the things, like giving it over to God and know that he actually has my best interest. Is it at heart? But he knows the plans for me. He knows the plans for my life or whatever. So I just need to seek him and give those cares over to him. So that's another piece of like the stress and the worry, or the stress and the overwhelming and the overstimulated piece of my health and fitness journey that I am working on, because those stressors in life I can give over to God and let him ultimately handle and take care of those things. So hopefully and prayerfully that piece of the eating struggle won't be there. I hope all that makes sense. So like I said, I am working on the behind the scenes, the back parts of my goals, so I can actually hit my goal hopefully this year. This is not at all what I actually had in mind to talk about, but I hope you enjoyed the episode this week. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. You can message me on Instagram and Facebook at My Heart Speaks LLC, on TikTok at Shayla Kier. I have not changed that yet. If you have any questions or comments, if you have any topics, I'll be asking y'all for topics, and y'all just be like, suggest a topic, okay? I know you be seeing me ask for topics also in my stories, and y'all be hitting the option. There be options up there, and y'all be hitting the options. Hit the options, okay? Let me know what the topic should be, okay? Something. But yeah, if you have any questions, any comments, just hit me up, respond, or drop a comment below this YouTube video. You can also listen to this. You can listen to all of my episodes on Apple Podcasts, Jesus, or Spotify. You can listen. You can watch, I believe, on Spotify as well, and watch here on YouTube. So please tune in. I thank you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys have a fantastic week.